Okay, I'm going to totally geek out here today and show you my pedal board. First, two quick points. First of all, I recognize that pedals can easily be used as a crutch to kind of hide your lack of musicianship or your lack of creativity, and I fully admit to that being the case with me. I really just enjoy all the different flavors available, and for me it's a big part of songwriting, adding texture, and just being creative. My second point is that this particular pedal board that I'm going to show you, it's not my ideal board, but I would say it's close, considering, you know, it's always going to be a compromise between what you can afford and how much space you have. And I do have some other pedals that I kind of rotate on and off the board. I might show you those. But this is basically what I use live. Okay, first I'm going to show you this handy, awesome backpack. Somebody gave this to me, and I can't remember who, but they had a great sense of humor. It's like a little baby backpack. And I bring it to all shows because I can have like my picks in there, a couple of screwdrivers. Oh, there's something stuck to that one. It's disgusting. Anyway, a couple screwdrivers if something breaks. Earplugs, tuning winder, helps you tune up really fast. Some backup. Oh, my capo, and some backup patch cords and stuff. But anyway, I always bring that to every show, just because you never know. So the first thing I run into is my tuner, a little Boss tuner. I think this is the second, the second or maybe even the third tuner I've had, because they do go bad after years of abuse. But I think this is only my second one. It's very industry standard kind of thing, and it just works great. The only time it can be tough is outdoor shows. Then I often put up like a little piece of cardboard over the lighting display so that I can see if I'm in tune or not. And when I don't, I've often, well, not often, but it did happen once where I played pretty much 2/3 of a song in the wrong key because I couldn't see what I was doing, and I tuned up a half step off. Okay, so then here's let's see. Okay, so I go into the tuner, then I go down into my little baby wah-wah. This is the mini. It's just a standard Cry Baby, and it takes a while to get used to if you've always used a full-sized wah. But I don't use this as much as I did. I used it a lot in the 90s, and back then I was using a full size. But I still wanted one on the board so I can play some of our older songs, and you know, occasionally I'll use it, but not too much for the newer stuff. This is, I think, my most expensive pedal. I don't even remember how much it cost, but it was more than you should really pay for a pedal. A cool kind of boutique company, Earthquaker Devices. This is a filter, and it actually kind of makes wah-wah sounds, but instead of being triggered by foot motion, it's more triggered by your attack, and it can go up or down. Actually, I can't remember which is which right now. Or in the middle, it does a step where it'll go wonk, 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 which I never use because it's kind of hard to line up live. But it's a very handy effect. I use it on quite a few songs. This is my compressor, which is next in the chain. This is just a DOD optical compressor. Very basic, just 2 controls, but it does the job. Next is my super cheap Boss Super Overdrive, an old standby that a lot of players use, and even though it's very affordable and very basic, it still has a great tone that a lot of people use. That, you know, it's better than something that costs 3, 4, or 5 times as much. Same thing with this. It's my second Overdrive. I bought it at Guitar Center at some 4th of July special for like I don't know, $39.95, and I did have to send it back recently to get it repaired. but it just has a great basic overdrive tone. It doesn't color your sound too much. This is a script logo MXR 90, Phase 90, just a basic phase, and I use it, typically I have it more in a gentle sweep, but there is one song where I have it cranked all the way. Then I go over to my next modulation pedal, which is the micro chorus, also MXR. I used to have a ton, or the big MXR box for this, and it had a ton of knobs. It had like 5 or 6 knobs and buttons and stuff, and I just really needed one, kind of like the phase. So I stepped down to the lower basic model, and I really like it cranked near max to get kind of that warbly C6 sound, but you can also do more standard lush type chorus sounds. This is another boutique pedal from Mojo Hand. It's called the Sugar Baby. I don't know if they still make it. I don't think so, but it's just a tremolo, and it's a really basic, just natural organic sounding tremolo. I like it better than my Voxes. I have a Vox AC15 with built-in tremolo, and I actually like this better. Okay, and then here's, a lot of people have this on their board. It's a analog delay pedal, another MXR carbon copy. It gives you the modulation option if you want your delay to also have a little chorus on it. And I always use it with the modulation on. And it's just a very basic, warm, organic sounding analog filter. I love it. And then here is my TC Electronic Trinity Reverb pedal, and it has, you can see all those numbers on the one knob. There's a million different kinds of reverbs on here. Most of them are weird, or what would I say, ambient sounding, which is what I wanted. I didn't want a standard, reverb. And it's fun. I just only use it on a few songs, but it really it stands out as a really unique sound. And then finally, this is my looper pedal, and I just recently got this. I used to have a looper pedal as part of, it was an option on a delay pedal, but I didn't really like the delay pedal. I got rid of it, but I really miss the looper. And this is just fun to have available for practice, and you can work it into shows too. And I'll show you a little bit of each pedal now. Okay, I'll show you what some of these pedals do. Of course, I don't think I need to show you how the tuner works, but I'll just start up top here. Here's the, well, here's my clean signal. And here's the little micro chorus. So I can do that kind of basic lush chorus, but I like to use it more dialed up to get more kind of a warbly sound. I'll put on my cable here real quick. For the song that we do, Kairos, the choruses I use it, and it's just, it almost sounds like an organ at times, but and I will use it, better turn the level down on this, I'll use it in conjunction with Dirt, with Overdrive. So the, oh, and of course I have to throw in a little delay too. But the little repeating riff on Kairos goes. And then I'll go back to the chords on the chorus, just. So I just dig that. It's a cool sound. Here's the Sugar Baby, and You can do some more subtle things, but I like it with everything cranked so the depth is all the way and the speed is all the way. And this one, the knob actually works as a brake, so you turn it all the way down and that means the brake's off and it goes really fast. But my guitar is not tuned quite right. I normally have it drop a half step down, but this is the beginning to Love What You Made. And it's the same cool effect that like the Smiths use for How Soon Is Now. So that's a cool sound. Here's the carbon copy. You kind of heard that a second ago. I've been using it a lot lately to totally rip off the standard 8th note thing that the Edge does from U2. So a couple of new songs, there's a little melody that's like, and it's just a really, the part is very simple, but you add in all those repeats and it sounds kind of intricate. And I can do also, there's another new riff from the new album. And then for that, and you can hear it modulating on the delays. For that, then I add some dirt and go up high. And sometimes I'll, like on the album Kairos, let's see if I can dial this in really quick. Yeah. The song Winter, I do some kind of cool. And that's with the filter combined, so it's like. And that's like making a lot of noise there, the filter, but I don't usually notice it when it's live, and I think I somehow worked around that in the studio too. Okay, so we'll move on to, here's a couple of great sounds I get off of this Reverb. This is probably my favorite one. It's almost like a shimmer reverb, but I use it on the song Kairos. And then, if I want to do something more abrasive, there's this other setting that's got kind of more of an organ sound, and you can just hit one note. Hang on there. And then I did another on the new album. You haven't heard of this yet live or anything, but this one kind of combines a flanger with the reverb. Oops. for a second or see if I can remember the riff. No. Okay, there we go. Whoops. I love how that decays within there. And you can catch that. Sometimes it's going up, the decay, so it's going up, and other times it's going down. It sounds cool either way. Here's a... Let me get this right. Boop, boop, ba-doo. Here's a loop that I have ready for whenever we do Siren, the title track. I start the loop, and then I can start playing over top of it. And then we bust into the big part, and I just have to remember to hit it twice, or I can cause all kinds of mayhem. But anyway, yeah, here's the filter. It has this cool, I think this is the downsweep. But you can also go the other direction. I call that the Radiohead filter song because I think I first heard it on the OK Computer album, and I was like, oh, I gotta get one of those. And that sent me on a very long quest that ended with this pedal. But I tried out about 3 or 4 before I got to it. And here is a step thing. Whoops. Here is the compressor, and honestly, I mean, it's such a subtle thing. It just, I use it mostly when I need a little more sustain. So, like at Siren, there's a part where I kind of noodle while Mary Beth's singing during a verse, and it's just nice to have a little bit more. Just a little more sustain on there. So my 2 overdrives, this is, I use this one for basic crunch. And then this one's got, oh, I better turn it down here. This one is more just all the way out over the top. I might as well go here too. And then for the fuzz, or the wah pedal. Oops, you help if I... Yeah, this thing you have to have set up just right. With a big wah pedal, you have your forefoot doing most of the toggling, but with this you actually learn how to use it with your heel, and just don't go all the way or you'll turn your tuner on. But what's left? Oh, the phaser. Yeah. So, with just a gentle sweep, you know, it's just got this. Whoops, and I have delay on there. I didn't mean to do that. Let's see, I'm trying to think of some. Oh, I like to use it with distortion. This is, or fuzz especially. This is another one from the new album. This kind of a cool riff where you run the gain in front of the phaser. But anyway, and I also like it all the way up. There's a little break in the song Siren where everything stops. And there you go. I think that's about it. I'll show you the other pedals that I don't have on the board right now, but that are used a lot in the studio. So I'll just whiz through this really quick. First off, the blue box. It's just a really funky fuzz, which can also, if you can blend in, the fuzz alone is pretty cool, but you can also blend in an octave down, and if you go all the way, it starts to just sound like wonky Atari, the old video game Atari, just wonk, 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 wonk. It's really goofy. I don't use it live because it doesn't have enough output, even cranked all the way. You can't be heard over the band, but it's really fun in the studio. Second up, the Big Muff. I think this is the Op Amp Fuzz by Electro-Harmonix, and this is the Billy Corgan signature model. Well, I guess I don't see his signature anywhere, but this is basically the Smashing Pumpkins type sound, and I've used it in the studio for the new album for a couple songs. It's really cool. I just don't. Fuzz boxes never end up on my board long term because live they're always problematic. They just don't cut through a mix. But I love, love, love using fuzz in the studio. And the funny thing about fuzz is the more you use it, then when you step on an overdrive, the overdrive sounds all brittle and yucky and wrong. And so I could see how if you used fuzz all the time, it would, I don't know, it'd be hard to go back to a straight up overdrive tone. But I definitely like using this in the studio. And this is the third pedal that's not on the board right now. This is another overdrive pedal, the Soul Food. This is really popular. It's on a lot of boards right now. And it's got just a really dialed in mid-range, upper mid-range tone. And it's nice and gnarly and awesome. It's got a lot of character, more character than either of my other two overdrives. But it's a very one-dimensional sound, and it's probably a better pedal than either of my other ones. But for live, I like to use the other two just because they can do just more generic, straight-up sounds, and they're not so one-dimensional. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this way too long tour of my pedal board. I would love to hear your comments or read your comments, because it's always fun to talk about gear. Unless you're Mary Beth, she's really sick of talking about gear or hearing me talk about gear. So we'll just leave her out of this.